Welcome everyone to Winsport Arena A in Calgary. I'm Sandra Prusina. You are watching CWHL Live. Jenna Cunningham, of course, with me. So glad to have you with us today for this game we have on tap between the Calgary Inferno and the visiting Toronto Furies. And tonight, you will see every player wearing an NHLPA patch as part of the continued partnership with the NHLPA. We're excited you're joining us here in Calgary and looking forward to seeing what these two teams bring here tonight. Now, why don't we take a look at the numbers? Calgary entering action at the top of the standings with a record of 15-2-1. That's good for 31 points. Toronto sitting fifth at 7-10 with a game in hand. However, I got to mention this. The Furies have done something no other CWHL team has done so far this season, which is beat the Inferno on home ice. So, Jenna, I'm sure they'll want to do that again.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that this Calgary team is extremely strong, and they have a ton of all-stars, a ton of Olympians, and they are hard to beat at home. And like you said, Toronto's been successful. So once you get that first win, you start to feel that little bit of confidence. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be a good battle this weekend.
So if you're joining us here on the live stream on CWHL Live, you'll notice that the Calgary Inferno, their jerseys are a little bit different tonight. Normally they wear red at home, but today they are wearing limited edition special purple jerseys, and this is part of an initiative and a game tonight here. It's the 4th annual Start the Spark, and Jenna, I know this is a cause that's very near and dear to all of us here, and you've been part of it as well.
Absolutely. It was started by a former Inferno player, Jessica Campbell, who used to work for the Sheldon Kennedy Center. She's now a coach at POE, and she started this initiative in Calgary, Start the Spark, and it's all about bringing awareness to youth mental health, which as a teacher is really important to me, and I think that it's a fantastic cause, and it's really exciting to see that it's going into its 4th season.
Had a chance actually to spend some time with Rebecca Leslie of the Calgary Inferno, one of the rookie forwards, and one of the initiatives she's actually involved with is called Do It for Darren, and that is part of mental health awareness. She unfortunately, when she was 14 years old playing Bantam, and one of her teammates took her own life, and Rebecca says that has changed her life as a result, and she's very active and involved in just speaking about mental health and making sure others are speaking about it as well.
Absolutely, and like you said, the Do It for Darren Foundation is in connection with Start the Spark, and the biggest thing is getting kids to talk about mental health and really making sure that the stigma around mental health no longer continues and making them feel comfortable. And, you know, like you said, Rebecca Leslie's been part of that charge, and I know that tonight is a really special night for her as well.
So one-time member of the Calgary Inferno, Jessica Campbell, coming out for the ceremonial puck drop, and she, of course, is just such a proponent of making sure people are talking about mental health. She does work at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center, and it's always special to have her. Now, these jerseys, they look cool. We were talking about them. They look so good, purple, silver, and they're limited edition. So after tonight's game, they're actually all going on auction on the Calgary Inferno website, and the proceeds of those jerseys sold, as well as all of the attendance and admission tickets and so forth tonight, that will be going to the cause as well. So you have to go over to the Inferno website and maybe bid on one of those jerseys because they're pretty cool.
They are pretty awesome, but the big thing is that they go towards a really great cause. So not only are you able to contribute and be part of the change around youth mental health and being able to speak to youth mental health, but you can also get a great Inferno jersey out of the deal as well.
It's a really nice crowd here on hand, and the anthem just about to get underway, and the broadcast and opening puck drop in a few moments.
Thank you. Please remain standing and join Libby Clark as she sings the national anthem.
So opening puck drop just moments away. Calgary's starting lineup is Zoe Hickel, Turnbull, Johnston, Lequette, and Kurzaniak on the blue line. For Toronto, it is Vela, Allen, Prevost, Greco, and Fast. We'll talk about the goalies in 1 second here, but again, you'll notice the Calgary Inferno not wearing their usual red jerseys. They are donned in purple as part of Start the Spark. You'll be able to bid on those jerseys on the Calgary Inferno website right after the game. I believe the auction will be live for about a week. And the visiting Toronto Furies are wearing their road whites. In goal for Calgary, rookie netminder Annie Belanger. In 6 games this season, she sits with a record of 6-1, 3 shutouts, and a 1.42 goals against average. On the other side of the ice, we have Shea Tiley, 4-5 on the year, sitting with a goals against average of 2.76. Jenna, what are some of your keys for the game tonight?
Well, we're playing on big ice, which plays to both Calgary's strengths and Toronto. Toronto has some very quick players, starting with their captain Spooner. She generates so much offense off of the transition, and her ability to push the D back with her speed and her ability to shoot from anywhere is a huge factor in this game. So Calgary's going to want to keep her to the outside, try to slow her down as much as possible. There's a couple other Toronto players that have that same speed. We know Prevost has been an impact player in this league for many years, again, coming from that quickness. Calgary, same thing. They have a couple players that love to skate, love to move that puck, so this big ice is going to be perfect for both sides.
So we're underway here in Calgary, Win Sport Arena A, the Inferno versus the Toronto Furies. Puck begins in Toronto's end. Greco gets that to Prevost, clips it out. Kurzaniak will take over for the Inferno, gets it over to Hickel, now into the corner. Turnbull looking for Johnston. Johnston calls for it, but can't corral the pass, and it'll go back into the Calgary end. Johnston to Lequette. Lequette, cross-ice pass to Blair Turnbull. Calgary going for a change. Only Kurzaniak available. Shot on goal. Shea Tiley with her first save of the evening. Chance now for Toronto. Sarah Nurse, shot on goal. Puck in front of Annie Belanger. And she just rubs up against that post. So good fury of action from the Furies.
There again is that speed we were just talking about with Toronto. Sarah Nurse is going to be a huge person to focus on. Just their ability to pick up that puck with that quick turnover from Calgary and attack the other way created a great offensive opportunity early on here.
So face off in the Calgary end, but Calgary will come away with that. Bellamy over to Leslie. Leslie to Jenner. Jenner looking for a centering pass. Nobody there for Calgary, though. And Toronto with some speed. Shannon Stewart, she'll dump it in as she goes for the line change. And Calgary will circle back.
We'll be watching Brianne Jenner closely here. She has 5 goals in the last 3 games, so she's been red hot for Calgary and been a huge part of their offensive success starting in the new year.
Also recently scoring her 100th points in the CWHL, which pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Early here in the first period, 0-0 between Calgary and Toronto. We're at Win Sport Arena A, Martin McPhail Center in the Calgary area. Battle here deep behind the Calgary net. Jenner and Greco. Good battle behind the Calgary net, and Leslie will now take over. Nice cross-ice pass there. Jenner circles around and finds on the left wing. Shot on goal, played into the corner by Shea Tiley. Battle in front of the Toronto bench. And puck flutters out into the neutral zone, so Calgary will have to collect and take over. Looking for Woodworth, but nice interception there by Toronto. They'll dump it into the Calgary end. Played to the far board. Good forecheck there by Cheyenne Darkangelo. And she'll break it out into Toronto's end. Bit of a bouncing puck. Renata Fast gets it in on Annie Belanger, and she'll collect that in her chest protector and hang on. So we'll get a face-off here. A couple of minutes gone in the first period. It remains a 0-0 game, but both teams trading a couple of good chances to get going here.
Yeah, we thought maybe in the warm-ups a little bit, Toronto was a little flat-footed. They seemed a little slow in warm-ups, so it's good to see that they found their footing, and they're putting a lot of pressure on Calgary, and that's exactly what they need to do with the defense that Calgary has.
Toronto had the face-off win, but Calgary will come away with it, and we'll actually get our first penalty, I believe, of the night, as Spooner and one of the members of the Inferno, I'll have to wait till she turns around here.
I believe it's Gosling here that got tied up with Spooner, is going to go for 2 minutes for holding. One part of these purple jerseys is the names are incredibly hard to read on them.
Yeah, so I do apologize if you hear a few pauses here, because yeah, they're definitely a little bit harder to read than our usual jerseys here in Calgary. But Toronto headed to its first power play of the evening. Calgary, though, with a face-off win, clipped out of the zone by Rebecca Johnston. It goes all the way down, and Tylee will leave it here for her blue liner. Toronto with a breakout. Spooner dumps it in, goes into the left side. Zaniak will track that down. Goes off the ankle of Channel. Fast will scoop it up to Nurse. Nurse to Channel. Slow down, and that is an offside call.
Toronto's going to have to be really strategic on this power play. We've noticed that they try to dump it in and go after it. The thing is, Calgary has such strong, fast D that if they're going to do that, they have to make sure they're putting it into a spot that one of their forwards can actually retrieve the puck, or Calgary's going to be really successful on these penalty kills.
Greco dumped that in, but nobody there for Toronto. Glove down by Megan Quinn. She's looked for an outlet pass, but chopped away by Bellamy. Bellamy was looking for Dakota Woodworth. Toronto now with some speed through the neutral zone. Howard trying to go and split the D. She can't do it though. And Toronto will somehow try to regroup as they battle in the corner. 45 seconds left on Toronto's first power play of the evening. Dump behind the Calgary goal to Howard. Howard was looking for Greco at the point, but Woodworth's stick got in the way, and that puck goes all the way down the ice, and Toronto will have to regroup. 28 seconds here left on a power play. Sarah Nurse tied for the team lead in scoring. Velma Holvey. Channel over to Fast. Fast looking for some options, tries to direct it to Nurse. Misses that pass though. To the point, and Gosling gets out of the box, but unfortunately she takes a bit of a fall. Go for a line change, and we're back to even strength here in the first period. 5 minutes off the clock, remains a 0-0 game.
Couple good puck movement there by Toronto. They're just missing each other by an inch. If they can nail down those passes and get them stick to stick, they're going to be successful in entering the Calgary zone.
Jess Vella looking for Spooner. And now Calgary countering. Johnston. They'll have to regroup so they're not offside. Now Bellamy. Bellamy drop pass. Nobody there with the purple jersey though. Bouncing pass. And Toronto will take over. Vedeski. It's Kit. Johnston gets it to Zoe Hickel. Back into the Calgary end. And Gosling. Now an outlet pass to Hickel. Zoe Hickel will dump that behind Shea Tylee. Johnston. And they'll tie it up behind the Toronto net. Good battle on this near side, and that's deflected into the netting, and we'll get another face-off here.
Yeah, I think Toronto got away with that one as Greco went to chip that out, and I think it must have just got deflected as it exited the rink there. Otherwise, it would have been a power play for Calgary. It's good to see that Calgary's got a couple players getting some extra ice time here as Erica Crom is on the ice here in the first period. We know Brianne Decker is gone coaching the U18 team, so she's not here today, which opens up a little bit of space for some of those other players that might not see the ice as much.
Yeah, Brianna Decker, she is part of the American coaching staff at the U18 World Women's Championship. And by the by, I mean, it never happens. Canada and US, they never play in a final game, but that's what's going to happen in the wee hours here, Calgary time. They'll be playing for that championship game, so good luck to both of those teams. 13:23 left on the clock in the first period, 0-0. Calgary and Toronto. We're at Winsport Arena A, and Leslie with speed. The rookie looking for a centering pass. Nobody there for the Inferno, but she'll track it down on the far side. Kept alive by Jenner. Stick battle there right in front of the referee, but no harm, no foul. And Fast will take over for Toronto. She'll dish that into the Calgary end. Gosling now. Willoughby will dump that in. A couple of players trying to track that down, but will get an icing call as she wasn't over that line when she dumped it in.
It'll be interesting to see if Calgary takes advantage of having a home ice here and second change. Toronto's mostly dominates with that first line, and as we can see, they double shift almost consistently, so they're going out every second shift. And it'll be interesting what line Calgary chooses to pair up against them. So far, it's been Jenner's line, which makes sense because they're just so strong defensively that they're a great pairing to go up against Spooner.
Into the Toronto end, chance now for to go to Woodworth. Save by Shea Tiley. That one off her shoulder. And Toronto will take over. Brittany Howard looking for Carolyn Prevost. Prevost, though, she's by herself, doesn't have a lot of options as three members of the Inferno converge on her behind the Calgary net. And Calgary now with some speed through the neutral zone, taking on three members of the Toronto Furies. Nobody there to help out, and Toronto easily clearing that away. Tori Hickle, sister of Zoe, she plays on the blue line. Over to Johnston. Johnston back to the point for Tori Hickle, but she couldn't collect that pass, and Johnston will come into her own end and help out. Almost a giveaway there, but Johnston composed and collects it to Zoe Hickle. Zoe looking for some options, trying to center that pass. Nobody there for Calgary, though. And she's brought behind the Toronto net. Centering pass just in front of that blue paint. Again, chance for Zoe Hickle. That one goes high and wide. Kurzaniak now takes it behind the Toronto net. Looking for some options. Tries a short side shot. A nice blocker save by Shea Tiley. Good battle here, though, as Calgary comes back into the Toronto end, and we're going to get another penalty call, the second one on the night.
Yeah, and that's going to go to Erica Crom. I think she was just a little bit too aggressive there on the forecheck. Her stick got up in between the Toronto player's arms, and as soon as your stick gets there, you're almost guaranteed some kind of hooking or holding call. So unfortunate, the effort was there. She had the right idea. She wanted to put pressure on the Toronto player, but it's resulted in a penalty kill situation for her team.
So Toronto, with its second opportunity on the power play tonight, remains a 0-0 game. 11 minutes left here in the first period. Chance now for Calgary to clear that. They'll get that all the way down the ice.
What we know about Calgary is they put so much pressure on the team that is on the power play. So Toronto wants to keep control of that puck. They want to keep possession. They don't want to give it away, and they got to make sure that they outman Calgary everywhere, whether it's in the corners, whether it's up top. They really got to make sure that they're in control of that puck.
Calgary now looking to clear things out. Chopped away in front of the Inferno bench, but they can't do it. Looking for a centering pass. Nice block there by Bellamy. Bellamy all the way around the boards and all the way down the ice for Shea Tiley to leave it there. Almost 10 minutes expired here in the first period. Toronto on its second power play of the evening. As Renata Fast works her way out, looking for D'Arcangelo. That went to Howard instead, though, and Calgary will collect that. Turnbull over to Johnston with speed, short-handed. Johnston, that shot is deflected into the corner. Good forecheck there by both Turnbull and Johnston as they kill some valuable seconds off this penalty. 32 seconds left as Erica Crom is in the penalty box for the Inferno. Gosling will track that down. Nearly clears it, gets it to Greco, but Greco doesn't have a lot of help as Toronto is also changing lines here, and Calgary will clear that down the ice.
That's one thing that Calgary's really good at, is just being patient on the penalty kill, and they're always a threat for scoring. They created a 2-on-2 opportunity there just by making a couple good passes.
So I see that the gate is opening here for a Toronto penalty.
Yeah, there's too many men there, or so they called. You saw that puck go to the bench side as Spooner stepped onto the ice, and the referees stated that there were perhaps 6 players for Toronto, which, as we know, is not allowed. So looks like we're going to have about 13 seconds here of 4-on-4 hockey, and then Calgary's going to go to their first power play of the night.
Remains a 0-0 game, 9:17 on the clock here in the opening frame. Calgary and Toronto, you're watching CWHL Live. Thank you for tuning in. Calgary with the face-off win, 4-on-4, as Jenna mentioned, for another 7 seconds here. As Toronto will take over, that's Renata Fast. Gets it over to Emma Greco. She'll dump that in all the way behind Annie Belanger to Jenner. Jenner to Leslie. Calgary now on the power play. Looking for Jenner. The Natalie Spooner will clear that into the neutral zone, and Calgary will have to regroup.
We'll see a little bit of a different power play unit here as Brianna Decker's not in the lineup tonight, so it opens up for Louise Warren to join this power play unit here with Jenner and Hickel.
And she's on there right now, Louise Warren, number 28. She's in front of the goal. Slap shot, Laquette. Great save. Shay Tiley kicks out that pad. And Sarah Nurse was looking for a nice stretch pass there, but nobody could get it to her shorthanded, and she goes for a line change.
Yeah, that's tough. She would have been on a clear breakaway, and her teammate just didn't see her there cutting through the middle.
Zoe Hickel will track that down for the Inferno as the other power play unit gets on the ice. Johnston will stop that at the blue line. Trickles out, though. Bellamy will have to take over. Sets it to Johnston. Calgary tags up as they'll battle right in front of that blue line. Nice job by Toronto, and D'Arcangelo, shorthanded. She'll head into the Calgary zone. Bellamy takes over, though, and Calgary with some numbers now. Bellamy to Johnston. Johnston. Bank pass. Didn't go on that near wall. Back to the point for Bellamy. Penalty has expired. 5-on-5 hockey now. Johnston curls at the blue line. Fluttering pass. Zoe Hickel nearly taps that one in. And Johnston, she appears to be just about everywhere tonight. Johnston back to Gosling. Gosling slap pass to the other side of the blue line. Shot on goals, Shay Tiley. Nice job there, just absorbing that. No rebound. She's been pretty busy. She's faced 7 shots, and she's been very good thus far.
Yeah, definitely. Against a team like Calgary, you don't want to give rebounds, and she's doing a great job of holding on. What I really like about her is her ability to challenge that angle, giving Calgary really not a whole lot to shoot at. And when there is a rebound, she's really directing those out of the danger areas.
Connect with the CWHL and other fans on following at the CWHL on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also tweet us at the CWHL, and we'll get to some of your Twitter shout-outs later in the broadcast. 6:34 left on the clock in the first period. Sarah Nurse with the puck for Toronto. Slap shot, blocker side on Annie Belanger. But she's able to drive that into the corner, and she grabs that with her glove. Bobbled it a little bit, but she'll hang on.
Yeah, great shot there by Sarah Nurse. As we know, she's dangerous on all areas of the ice, and just got a little bit of a slap shot, half slap shot off, and Belanger was able to get just a piece of her stick on that to redirect it.
Hard to believe Sarah Nurse is a rookie. Looks like she's a seasoned veteran. It blows my mind.
She dominates. You can tell every time she's on the ice. She's like Rebecca Johnston. Every time they're on the ice, they're noticeable.
I realize their statures are a little bit different, but for a taller player, she is phenomenal on her skates. Like, she skates so well. Chance now for Calgary. Great save! But Brianne Jenner is there and scoops in her own rebound to make it 1-0 Calgary in the first period.
Wow, what an unbelievable goal by Jenner there. She just simply undressed the Toronto defenseman and then proceeded to make her way out in front. Got one shot off. Tylee got a good save there, got her pad down, but Jenner was able to get her own rebound. Again, the hottest player on the Inferno right now just put them up 1-0.
So Brianne Jenner makes it a 1-0 game. Calgary, 6:05 left here on the clock. And Shea Tylee's been very good, but tough to stop somebody, like you said, Brianne Jenner, who has been hot as of late.
That'll be one that you'll want to see the highlights for sure.
Chance now for Calgary as they get back into the Toronto end. Gosling, slap shot from the point. That goes into a crowd of players in front of Shea Tylee. And now a 2-on-1 opportunity for Toronto. McNeil looking to get that pass to Kidd, but it's intercepted and played behind the net. So Caitlin Gosling will take over for Calgary. Outlet pass to Kelty Apperson. She'll just deflect that into the Toronto end. Calgary will go for a line change, and now Toronto will regroup. Natalie Spooner, the Furies captain, with speed, goes wide. And that shot rims all the way around the board, so Greco will have to take over for Toronto. Nice interception there by Johnston. Kept alive at the blue line by Turnbull. Turnbull trying to track that down for Calgary, but the Furies will take over. Played into the neutral zone all the way down the ice. No icing call there, so some good speed for Toronto. They'll negate that, and chance now for Calgary. Johnston loses that, but put in by Krzyzaniak nonetheless. Calgary's top line going for a change. Greco was looking for Prevost on that outlet pass, but a little bit too much juice on that for Prevost. And we'll get a face-off here in the Toronto end.
I think we're going to see a lot of that from Toronto, really trying to hit those stretch passes. They want to catch those Calgary defenders pinching. We know the Calgary defenders are really strong and really skilled, and they love to jump into the play. They like to pinch at the blue line. So Toronto's going to try to take advantage of that, and we've seen a couple of those tonight where they send that girl flying the zone, hoping that they can get a pass to her and a partial break.
Chance now for Calgary, as Rebecca Leslie, the Inferno rookie, came out from just near the dot there in front of the blue paint. A good save by Shea Tylee. If you're just joining us now, Brianne Jenner with a goal late here in the first period to make it a 1-0 lead for the Inferno. Jenner, face-off win, Krzyzaniak, Laquette leaves it for Leslie. Leslie to Warren. Warren back to the point. She'll trade places with Laquette, but she's dispatched of the puck. And a chance now for Toronto. Molson shot on goal. That one's wide. Channel will take over for Toronto. Plays it over to Howard. And another penalty call coming to Calgary. Toronto getting an extra attacker there as Tylee goes to the bench. But Jenner touched the puck. So we've got the Furies headed back to the power play. This is actually their third of the period.
Yeah, and I think, this is all coming down to that foot speed we were talking about. Toronto, they're quick, and they really try to pressure Calgary in their zone. Calgary needs to get their feet moving a little bit and get their sticks out of the way, stop holding them and drawing these penalties. Although they're great at penalty killing, you never want to put yourself into a situation where you're killing 3 penalties in the first period.
So Toronto on its third power play of the first, as Jenna just mentioned. Bellamy loses that pass to Toronto, and they'll regroup here at the blue line. Channel. Slap shot from the dot there. That one goes wide to Bellamy. Bellamy scoops that around the boards all the way down the ice. 1:32 left on Toronto's power play. 3:03 left in the first period. Channel now to Nurse. Nurse with speed on the left side. Nobody there in the middle though. And Calgary will clear that puck. It bobbles over the blue line and gets the job done. Calgary will kill some valuable seconds off this Toronto power play. Shot on goal, nearly shorthanded there by Hallie Krzyzaniak, who came in off the point. Back to Krzyzaniak. Krzyzaniak looks for a couple of options. She'll play it behind Shea Tiley, leave it for Johnston. Good job here, shorthanded by the Calgary Inferno. Laquette calling for it. Laquette leaves it for Krzyzaniak. That slap shot goes wide. Louise Warren will track that down. Back to Krzyzaniak. Krzyzaniak loses that now. And a chance for Toronto. That's Howard trying to go inside out on Bridget Laquette. Laquette takes over, and now to Warren. Warren gets it over to Johnston. Back to Krzyzaniak, who will send that all the way down the ice. 7 seconds left, and that should do it here for the Toronto power play. A minute and a half left in the first period. Calgary with a 1-0 lead. Channel plays it behind the Calgary net. Over to Gosling. Gosling leaves that for Jenner, the goal scorer. She's got some speed down that left wing. Veldahovy, slap shot save. Shea Tiley drives that into the near side. Half board. Woodworth back to the point. To the half board for Woodworth. Looking for a couple of options here. She'll circle around. That's Turnbull. Last minute of play here in the first period. Centering pass, looking for Johnston. And Toronto will clear. Or will try to clear. Some good pressure here by Calgary late in this first period. And they'll send it down the ice to Hallie Krzyzaniak. Now to Zoe Hickel. She'll just dump that in. Fedeski loses that pass for Toronto. But they're able to reclaim the puck, and we're in the neutral zone right now. Back to Turnbull. Krzyzaniak came in off her blue line. She actually was calling for that pass, but couldn't get it to her, and now Toronto takes over.
Just relentless pressure here from Calgary in the last couple minutes, starting with that penalty kill. Willoughby with that great forecheck, and Calgary's just sustained that pressure ever since.
They'll dump that into the Calgary end. Laquette. Dying seconds here left on the clock in the first period. And 20 minutes in the books, the Inferno with a 1-0 lead. Breanne Jenner with a beauty. What are your thoughts on this first period, Jenna?
I really like the pace of this period. Both teams were going hard. They both had their feet under them. Both Toronto and Calgary were really forechecking. I think a lot of that transition piece was in play. You could see both teams being able to turn the puck and head the other way. And so I think we're going to see more of that as this game progresses. You can tell that Toronto's feeling a little bit more confident. They know they've won against Calgary before, and now it's just a matter of them keeping that puck. They're quick enough. They can create offense, but the problem is if you make a bad pass and Calgary gains possession of that puck, it is hard to get the puck back from them. And so Toronto wants to be aware of that. They want to make sure they're not chasing that puck in their end or the neutral zone. And when they do have the opportunity to get that puck, not to let it go.
So specialty teams, I think the story so far, Calgary in the penalty box 3 times this period, and if you're the coach, you don't want to see that.
Yeah, even though Calgary's got a great penalty kill, that last one, it hardly even actually seemed like they were on the kill. They spent part of it in the offensive zone, but as a coach, you don't want to put yourself into that position, because when you get up against teams like Markham or Montreal, who are just unbelievable on the power play, you get yourself into a little bit of trouble here. And eventually, Toronto's going to put one in. So they need to be a little bit more disciplined going into the second period.
So 20 minutes in the books here between Calgary and Toronto. You're listening to CWHL Live here. And we will be headed down to the dressing rooms for a quick interview. I believe Ramina is standing by with a member of the Calgary Inferno.
Ready as we're ever going to be. Okay, and Rebecca Leslie, I'm saying it Rebecca right. Leslie, yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Victoria Bame, and I'm here with Rebecca Leslie. Thank you for coming and talking with me. Tell us a little bit about mental health awareness and what it means to you.
Yeah, so when I was 14, I lost a close friend to suicide, and so after that point, we kind of wanted to continue on her legacy and raise awareness for youth mental health, so we started Do It for Darren. So the purple patch that I'm wearing is her favorite color, and basically it was just a way of remembering her and definitely erasing the stigma behind youth mental health and making people talk about it and just inspiring conversations.
Amazing, thank you. So how do you think this event, Start the Spark and Do It for Darren, has changed or impacted the hockey community's awareness of mental health?
I think the hockey community in general is amazing. Do It for Darren kind of snowballed from the Ottawa community all over the world, and I think that that's just tells you a lot about the hockey community in general. And I think that it's awesome how so many teams have taken part in starting the Spark and Do It for Darren campaigns. It's great.
Amazing. It is pretty cool. So back to hockey. The Inferno have taken a couple penalties this first period. So how do you ladies plan on battling that and carrying your momentum forward with a 1-0 lead?
Yeah, I definitely think that we're probably going to have to stay out of the box in the next period. Our penalty kill has been really good, and we've been working really hard on it. And I think that if we keep working hard here in the second period, the refs will start calling things the other way, and we'll have some power play time. So just got to keep going.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rebecca, and good luck with the rest of the game. Thank you.
richer than you think.
I'm here with Jessica Campbell, who has been a huge part of Start the Spark. And so, Jessica, can you tell me a little bit about how this all started?
Yeah, so it's actually crazy. It feels like just yesterday, yet so long ago. But 3 years ago, started volunteering with Sheldon Kennedy, and we started, spitballing ideas at each other. And I told him a little about my story and my experiences and challenges and things that impacted my life dearly. And we kind of both met in the middle on the mental health, and the whole idea came. I really wanted to do something with my teammates, and I really just put the whole idea to start raising some awareness and get in the schools to start promoting healthy conversations in settings and environments like the school, where it's safe and there's trusted adults. And the whole Start the Spark, the name, it really just triggered this movement for the Inferno. And 3 years ago, now we're still playing this game. It's really exciting, but it was a movement, and I don't think we'd be here if it wasn't for my 20 teammates that first year that really jumped on board and said, let's do this and let's get behind it. And it means a lot to me, so it's really cool.
So it's going into its fourth year, and 4 years ago, would you have thought that this is something that would potentially become a legacy? Because it essentially has. It's going into the fourth year. It'll be around, I'm sure, for years to come. So how do you feel about that? The fact that it has continued on, even though you aren't necessarily an active player with the Inferno anymore, you clearly made an impact big enough for the community to continue to rally behind an event like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unbelievable. When driving down today, it kind of all hit me in a wave of just, realizing, to allude to what you said, is just the fact that this movement is still going and it's going to continue to go. And I was thinking about it, and, last year not playing, I think the hardest part for me stepping away from the game was, losing that Start the Spark. And though I didn't lose that sense of it, it was just being involved and being in the community and a part of that playing experience that I associated with Start the Spark was obviously really special. So to see my teammates and former teammates and new Inferno players bring that same pride and passion for this cause is really, really special. And I think for me, what was really exciting about this year and just being back here is knowing that even the new rookies like Rebecca Leslie, I know she was personally impacted, by the DIFD movement and was very close with Darren Richardson. So I think back to, showing the Purple Hearts video, and she was a young kid in that video herself, losing her own friend. So it's really neat to know that the passion that I have and had for this cause at the beginning is going to be continued on in the legacy of the young players and the rookies moving forward in the Inferno organization. I know they are going to continue with the same pride that I had.
Absolutely, and I think, as a teacher, what's really exciting is I have young kids walking around with Start the Spark t-shirts still 4 years later, and it does start that conversation, and being in the educational world, it's huge. And I think that it's really exciting that it's impacting female players, everyone in general, but in particular those young girls that need those role models, and those role models are talking about mental health, which is huge. So I guess as a coach now, do you continue to kind of talk to your players a lot about mental health and the importance of making sure that they're taking care of not only their physical body, but as well as their emotional and mental health?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I'm a huge advocate for mental health, and being in the role that I am now and as a skating coach and working with over 130 kids in the academy, we have a class every week that we talk about different experiences and different topics, and I have the honor of leading some of those conversations. So obviously the Start the Spark and the mental health conversation comes up because I truly believe that your mental health is just as, if not more important than your physical health. And so whether it's the boys I'm talking to or our girls team, we're we're all about building resiliency in these kids, and the more tools they can have in their toolbox to pull out when they experience different challenges, or like you alluded to in school settings, there's so many different things that kids go through, and youth, teenagers, they're all going through different changes in life and adapting. So my goal is just to continue that conversation with them, and it's pretty cool because some of the kids, I coach now, I shouldn't call them kids, they're teenagers, but they were at our Start the Spark game 3 years ago as 12-year-olds, and now they're 15, 16 in high school and still wearing their purple shirts and say, hey, remember when we Start the Spark? And it's pretty neat to know that the kids now have that voice and are empowered to talk amongst their peers, and that I can engage in that conversation without having to instigate it or lead it, which is what it's all about for me.
Well, it's on behalf of, I think, the Calgary community and the Inferno, I think we just thank you for starting the conversation. It takes somebody to take that initiative and put it out there. And what you've done and what you've grown over 4 years has been pretty incredible. And I'm lucky I've seen it not only at the rink, but I get to live it every day with my students. And it's a really unique and important experience. So thank you for that. And we will look forward to seeing you again at the next Start the Spark game.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Second period underway here at Winsport Arena A between the Calgary Inferno and Toronto Furies. Thanks for watching us on CWHL Live. Sandra Prusina, Jenna Cunningham with you. And again, the Inferno with a 1-0 lead. Brianne Jenner with her 13th of the season. That came in the first period, the 13:58 mark, to put Calgary out in front and open the scoring. And we're going to get an early penalty call here, at least I thought, in the second period.
I think it might have just been a net coming off here. It was a kind of a weird bounce there. Good forecheck there by Louise Warren on Renata Fast. It ended up with a bouncing puck going towards the net, and Calgary almost squeaking one in. Again, Brianne Jenner there on the doorstep.
Yeah, we just mentioned Jenner, her 13th of the season. That's the lone goal so far here in Calgary tonight. We'll see if Toronto can tie things up. Also hearing from a couple of people on social media that there have been some web stream issues, and we are aware of it and they're working on it. Thank you so much for your patience as we get that worked out. Sometimes technology doesn't work for us, so. Calgary with some early pressure here in the second period. Johnston takes a bit of a fall there as Toronto will come out with the puck. Shot on goal, Annie Belanger drives that rebound in front of her, but Calgary will come away with it. Spooner on the near side here on the half board. Centering pass, looking for Kidd in front, looking for a tip, but that one goes wide. Vella now for Toronto, looking for Kidd. The Calgary, specifically Caitlin Gosling, will scoop that out all the way down. Some good draw weight there, so no icing call for Calgary, and Toronto will take over. Outlet pass to Vella. That takes a deflection, and now back to Calgary. If you're just joining us now, Calgary not in their traditional red jerseys, instead wearing purple as they support Start the Spark. That is an initiative to help mental awareness and mental health awareness, that is. And you'll be able to bid on those jerseys online on the Calgary Inferno website after this game is in the books. Calgary, some early pressure here in the second period. Venla Holvey, she'll track that down on the near side. Gets it over to Murray. Murray scoops that into the corner. Back to the point. That one will get away from Tori Hickel.
Yeah, Calgary definitely has the advantage here in shot differential, as they have 15 shots on net to Toronto's 5. One thing to take note is the amount of All-Stars Calgary has that are going to the CWHL All-Star game versus the Toronto. As we know, Toronto has 4 players going and Calgary has 9, so you can imagine that there's a little bit lopsided in the representation there for the All-Star game.
Louise Warren gets that puck right on Shea Tiley. It's alive in that blue paint, but she's got her stick down, and the paddle helps her scoop it in.
That one caught Tiley a little bit off guard. It got redirected on its way to the puck, or as on the way to the net, and she was just about to go crease to crease there and recognize that there was a little bit of a flutter, and she actually had to get that pad down flat to make sure that that one didn't squeak in short side.
As you mentioned, Jenna, Shea Tiley's already faced 17 shots here, but she's looked great. Tough to really stop the one that Brianne Jenner beat her with to make it a 1-0 game, but she's looked solid between the pipes. Calgary with a face-off win, shot on goal by Gosling. That one gets blocked and cut up in some skates, and now Calgary, or rather Toronto with speed, looking for Natalie Spooner, and that one almost got past Belanger. So did that one nearly. Natalie Spooner left out in front of that blue paint, but great save there by Annie Belanger, who hasn't had a whole lot work, but she has looked sharp. Calgary coming away through that neutral ice. Icing call. And we'll get another whistle. I believe that is too many men on Calgary. Did look like there was a bit of a commotion in front of that Calgary bench, and they'll get nabbed for it here early in the second period.
Yeah, that was a close one. I'm not sure I 100% agree with that. I'd have to see that one again, but that's the second one in this game. Both Toronto and Calgary have now served penalties for too many men. Perhaps they're a little too eager to jump onto that ice and get going, which isn't always a bad thing.
So Toronto with its 4th power play opportunity of the night. We'll see if they can do some damage here and tie up this game. But Calgary with a crucial face-off win, and they'll dump it all the way down the ice.
Toronto's really got to find a way here. This is now their 4th power play opportunity, and in a game like this, you want to take advantage of every chance you can, especially in special teams.
Nurse. Back to Channel. Nurse. Channel. Fast. Goes wide. Looking for Spooner through her legs. Thought somebody was right in front of the goalie, but nobody's there, and will battle in the corner. Nurse back to the point to Channel. Fluttering shot looking for Natalie Spooner. And Calgary will slam that one down the ice all the way to Tiley.
The difference here is both teams have that long change, so when they have the opportunity to clear that puck, especially on the penalty kill, but even when they're just breaking out of their zone and they need a change, it's important that they do that, because if you get caught, it's a long ways to the line change.
Darkangelo takes that into the Calgary end. Woodworth is on her, though. Hickel. A battle in front of the Toronto bench. Back to the point as Toronto spreads it out on their power play. 37 seconds left here. Calgary looks to clear that out, but kept alive by Greco at the blue line. Greco to Darkangelo. Back to Howard. Now to McNeil. Circles it around to the other side of the ice for Quinn. Darkangelo, good physical game so far. Back to the point. Greco, wrist shot, bouncing pass. Nice save there by Annie Belanger, and Calgary will come away with it. So a good spell here by Toronto. 3 seconds left here on the power play.
Yeah, this has certainly been one of Toronto's better power plays. They've kept possession of the puck and not allowed Calgary to get it down deep very much. Although, again, their grade A scoring chances, not that many. They had a couple shots there, so it's a little bit better than the previous 3 power plays. But they really got to generate more shots on those power plays if they are going to put one past Calgary today.
Bellamy for Calgary. She'll dump that one in as Calgary tags so they don't get nabbed for offside. Jenner gets that over to Bellamy, comes in off the point. That shot goes wide. Back to Jenner, the goal scorer this evening. Slap shot, Bellamy, save, Shea Tilley.
Yeah, good job there by Shea Tilley, just tracking that puck from left to right there, because Bellamy has a great shot and she got a lot on that one. So nice job by the Toronto goaltender.
And that's my bad. It is Shea Tilley. I apologize. Good stick there by Sarah Nurse, but it'll go into the Toronto end. And we'll get some play here in the neutral zone. Nurse looking for some options. Stewart is dispatched, and now Johnston for Calgary. Puck is bouncing a little bit for both teams right now. Can't get a lot going.
Yeah, it's a little bit of chaos in the neutral zone as that puck's bouncing between both teams here.
Fast will dump that one in. Goes all the way around. Stewart will stop it at that far board in front of the Toronto end. And kept alive by Spooner and Stewart, but only momentarily as Calgary has some numbers. 3-on-2 opportunity here. Turnbull looking for a centering pass. And that goes into the corner. Nice snapshot there.
Yeah, Krasaniak almost had that one. It was a great rebound that popped out right to her, and she just misfired.
And again, Krasaniak from that right side. There was a rebound, a bit of a juicy one, but handled well by Toronto as they bring the puck into the Calgary end. Calgary a little bit faster, though, and they'll take over once again. Krasaniak to Laquette. Good forecheck there by Howard. Only momentarily. And the puck now in Calgary's possession. Hickel. Johnston calling for it. Snapshot blocked. Good job there by Toronto to just get in front of that slapper from Rebecca Johnston. Over to Prevost. Prevost trying to make some space for herself, but handled nicely by Dakota Woodworth.
Yeah, you don't want to leave Prevost there. That was an unfortunate play there for her, just not getting anything on that shot.
Draw pass. And goes just wide. Channel for Toronto as we get a battle on that far half board. Inside out. Oh, and that goes just into the corner there for Calgary. We'll get a give and go on the blue line. as Tori Hickel takes a bump. She gets it to Velna Hovey. Centering pass. Jenner leaves it to the far half board. Back to Gosling. Shot on goal, fluttering, and right into the pads of Shea Tiley.
Yeah, right idea there by Leslie, just getting that puck to the net. There was definitely traffic in front of Tiley, but she was able to track that and not only save it, but hold on to it, ensuring that there's no rebound.
It's 11:18 here, left on the clock in the second period. 1-0 Calgary over the visiting Toronto Furies. This is the opener of a 2-game set. The second game goes tomorrow at noon. It'll be in Okotoks. Played behind the Calgary net to Jenner. Now to the other side. Looking for a stretch back pass there, but intercepted nicely by Toronto and Spooner. She'll slap that over to the other side of the ice to Nurse. Nurse checked well there, though, by Calgary. And a battle in front of that Toronto bench. Outlet pass, looking for Louise Warren, but Renata Fast takes over. Natalie Spooner in there with Nurse. To the blue line. Laquette, slap shot. That one goes wide, near side. Laquette coming in off the point, have some speed inside, out, and it's 2-0 Calgary. What a pass by Bridget Laquette, her second of the night.
Wow, that was an incredible goal. That's the second one tonight that could be on the highlight reel, and that all started with the puck going from the left to the right. Brianne Jenner was actually going for a change, but recognized the puck was actually coming towards her. She picked it up, cross ice to Laquette, who found Leslie in front, who was able to put it away. Just a fantastic passing play. That's one of those goals that sums up Calgary in a nutshell. Their ability to see the ice and move the puck is so obvious throughout the game.
So Rebecca Leslie makes it a 2-0 game. 19 points now on the season, her 8th goal. And just a great job there. I have to say, Bridget Laquette has been all over the ice tonight. She's got a couple of helpers on the score sheet, and well-deserved. Toronto looking to cut the lead in half. Chance now, outlet pass to Darkangelo. Oh, that one just goes wide off that far post of Annie Belanger. Slap shot from the point. It is high and wide. And Johnston now with some wheels. Gets it over to Hickel. Hickel leaves it for Laquette. Centering pass. Ooh, that cage was left open, but nobody there with the purple jersey, and Laquette still with the puck. Dispatch there by Toronto, though. Chance for McNeil. McNeil over to Kidd, and a glove save by Annie Belanger to keep it a 2-0 game. 9:14 left on the clock here in the second period.
Toronto's had a couple opportunities here where they've transitioned and have headed onto the offense, but they seem like they're just fighting that puck a little bit. There's been a couple situations where they've just had some bad luck as the puck's bouncing off their stick or missing their teammate by an inch or so, and that can be really frustrating as a player when you just can't seem to keep that puck or get that puck to bounce your way.
Get social with the CWHL. Follow the CWHL on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and join in on the discussion. If you're just joining us now on CWHL Live here, Calgary with a 2-0 lead over visiting Toronto, looking to add to that lead right now, but another solid save here by the Toronto netminder Shea Tiley. Velna Hovey gets that in onto Tiley, and Fast will take over for Toronto. Dumped in. Prevost will try and track that down, but Bellamy gets it for Calgary. Kelly Murray, she'll dump that in. Kept alive at the point by Bellamy. And now Toronto with some numbers. 3-on-1 actually, looking for Fast, but good save there by Annie Belanger as she drives it into the corner. Warren over to Leslie, and handled very well by Shea Tiley. That is her 25th save of the evening.
Good opportunity there for Toronto, like you said, coming down on that 3-on-1, and Belanger just stayed with it. She made sure to take care of the shot, which is what Toronto opted to do, and easy save, transition going the other way.
So face-off in the Toronto end, won by the Inferno, played back to the point. They can't keep it alive though. And Calgary will have to regroup. Dump deep into Toronto's end as it goes behind the net of Shea Tiley. Circles around, shot on goal. And that one is in the blue paint. I can actually see it from right here because our vantage point isn't always the best, but right here could see it did not cross that line.
Yeah, that was actually a quick whistle. That's the second time tonight that there's been a quick whistle against Calgary, and that's just a matter of the referee being in a position where they can track that puck. So close one by Erica Crom there. She almost squeaked it in, which would have been really exciting. As we've mentioned, that line getting a lot of ice time here in the second period.
Yeah, Erica Crom looking for her first goal of the season. Bridget Lequette keeps that alive for, I thought she did, my apologies, but looks like the officials saw otherwise, so we'll get a face-off.
What's exciting about both these teams is they battle hard and they forecheck hard, and we've seen that both from Calgary and Toronto. As soon as that puck gets into the corners, there's some solid battles from both teams.
Good forecheck here by Calgary. A couple of players going down as the bucket almost goes off of Hickle's head, but we're okay. And Toronto will scoop that into the neutral zone. Lequette with the puck, seems like she's been on the ice all night. Back to Lequette, goes over Shea Tiley's net. 6:52 left on the clock, Calgary with a 2-0 lead. Turnbull looking for Johnston, that gets away from her. Kept alive at the point by Bridget Lequette. Battle in front of that Calgary net. Calgary bench, rather. And Johnston now, as she waits for some reinforcements. Give and go on that near side. Woodworth gets it over to far half board. Behind the Toronto net, Velna Hovey was streaking in, but Caitlin Gosling couldn't keep that alive, and Calgary will regroup. Bellamy now to Hovey, looking for a centering pass. Really enjoyed what I saw there, but couldn't get that past Shea Tiley as it went wide. Velna Hovey, Vella, and Toronto comes away with it.
What makes Calgary so challenging to defend against is that they move that puck quick. They don't hold on to it for very long, and they're constantly moving in the offensive end, and Toronto's having a little bit of difficulty with them, especially with that long change getting trapped down there.
Velna Hovey. 3 purple jerseys now, back to Hovey. Was looking for Jenner. Bouncing pass, backhand. Saved by Shea Tiley. Leslie to Jenner. Jenner, shot on goal. That one takes a deflection behind the net. Back to Leslie. And now to the point. Kurzaniak looking for a Jenner tip. That one goes wide. Lequette. Oh, speaking of the CWHL All-Star Game, she's going to be a captain. Bridget Lequette, that is.
Yeah, that's exciting. I really like how they allow people to vote on that, and I'm sure she's excited to be the captain. The CWHL All-Star event, always a fun event to go to as a player, and this year they've got a lot of guest coaches that are going to make it really exciting, and Toronto always does such a great job hosting.
Chance now for Calgary. Save, and that one goes off the shoulder of Tiley into the corner. Calgary, good spell of possession right now, going inside out on the Toronto goalie. She's able to drive that into the corner, and Toronto just able to alleviate some of that pressure that they're dealing with in their zone, but unfortunately they can't get a line change there as they've iced the puck. So they'll have to bear the brunt of some exhausted bodies because we are seeing some players hunched over a little bit here.
Yeah, you can see that they're tired. They're definitely gassed, and who wouldn't be with this Calgary line that's out there right now? Like I said, their ability to control that puck, it's hard not to get starting to chase because there's a part of you that gets into panic mode a little bit, and you just feel completely swarmed. And so what you start to do is just do everything in your power to just get it out.
And then we've got this long line change. We're in the second period, so it's difficult to get some bodies out. They still can't. And now Johnston for Calgary. Johnston looking for some options. Blair Turnbull's out in front. Bouncing pass. And Tylee, she's going to hang on as some exhausted Toronto players head back to their bench here.
Yeah, Calgary's really taken over here in that second period. They've dominated most of the play. They've had the majority of the grade A scoring chances. Toronto had that power play that they generated a little bit off of, but really this second period's been all about Calgary.
Face-off win for the Inferno. Apperson back to the point. Slap shot. Saved by Tylee into the corner. That's her 30th save of the evening. Nearly 40 minutes in the books. 3:37 left on the clock in the second period. Over to Gosling. Gosling the Crom. Loses that pass though, and Toronto will take over. Emma Greco over to Renata Fast, the assistant captain. Stretch pass to Howard. Opportunity now for Howard. Shot on goal. Belanger collapses on that one, gets it in her glove. No rebound.
Yeah, and that's what Toronto really needs to do at this point is they just want to get pucks to the net. Any chance they can, they want to get that puck to Belanger and make sure that they have someone crashing it. But again, the Calgary goaltender, when you're not giving up rebounds, it's hard to get a second chance. So nice job, especially as she's only faced about 3 or 4 shots here this entire period.
Toronto with possession right now. Kidd back to the point. But nice interception there by Calgary as they look for a stretch pass here. Rebecca Leslie was going in, try to split the D. Jenner, one of the goal scorers tonight, loses the puck at the blue line, but she'll take over once again. Jenner. Leslie to Warren. Warren's on her backhand, can't get that shot off, and cleared by Toronto. No ice. And Calgary will take over. Laquette to Krzyzaniak. Over to Jenner, flicked in. Velnahovy will try to track that down. But Toronto takes over with 2:26 left in the second period. Shot on goal by Stewart, goes high and wide. Out in front, Spooner. And that one goes into the corner by the Toronto captain. Got a bit of a foot race here, but Channel's got the extra step. That'll get lost in the neutral zone in front of the Calgary bench, and now an opportunity for Velnahovy, and she shoots high and wide. She was looking for that top corner glove side, and now an opportunity for Toronto. Stewart to Nurse, backhand over the Calgary net. As Gosling loses her stick in the process of trying to tie up Sarah Nurse, and we'll get another penalty call here.
I was going to say, it was interesting that the referee that was standing right in front of the play didn't get that call, but the referee in the neutral zone certainly did. Sarah Nurse got a good slash on Bridget Laquette. You could see that her stick just came right out of her hand on that one. So good call there from the neutral zone referee on that one, and Calgary's going to see if they can take advantage, maybe get one here before going into the third period.
So Calgary with its second power play of the evening. They also have a 2-0 lead. 1:41 left here on the clock in the second period. Bellamy, Johnston, slap shot, doesn't make its way through, and Calgary will have to try again here. Caught up in the corner. Bellamy on the point. Johnston circles around, not a lot of options there. Back to Gosling. Shot on goal. Good selection of saves there by Shea Tylee. She had a couple of rebounds, but handled it nicely. To the half boards. Bellamy. Seeing eye shot, nobody there with a stick for the Inferno, and Johnston will take over. Centering pass, Gosling goes wide. Johnston from the corner, back to Bellamy, over to Turnbull. Turnbull to Bellamy, slap shot, she scores! Bellamy makes it a 3-0 game on the power play.
Yeah, that was just a great goal there by Calgary, and it all started with a power play that was in control of the puck. They had full control of the puck that whole time, and actually Gosling did a great job in front of that high slot when Toronto had a chance to clear. She got a stick on it, which allowed Calgary to keep possession of the puck and stay in zone. So great job from her. Great shot from Bellamy. I don't think Tyler had any chance on that one.
So that is Casey Bellamy's 5th goal of the season. The American blue liner with 15 points so far this year. First year actually playing with the Calgary Inferno, so she has absolutely made her mark, especially on the power play. Under a minute to go here in the second period. Calgary with a 3-0 lead. This the opener of a 2-game set between the Inferno and Furies as that puck flutters into the Calgary bench and will get a face-off. If you have some time, if you're in Calgary and you want to see the second game of this weekend set, you could head over to Okotoks at the Payson Centennial Arena. It is a 12 o'clock puck drop. You don't have to worry about bad roads. The weather is incredible here in Calgary. There's Chinook blowing through. So a good idea if you want to head south of the city and see some more action between these two talented teams. Chance here for Toronto late in the second period, but that is called offside.
Yeah, again, there's that situation where Toronto is almost on a clear break and a bad bounce ends up throwing them offside. They would have had a 3-on-1 there with just under 20 seconds to play.
So face off just outside of the Calgary zone as the Inferno do win that. Zaniak over to Laquette. She's got a couple of helpers tonight. Jenner centering pass. She was looking for Rebecca Leslie, who also scored this evening. As the final seconds here expire, 40 minutes in the books as the Calgary Inferno will take a 3-0 lead into the third period. If you're Toronto, how do you approach this final 20 minutes of play?
Well, the key is they need to find a way to get the puck on their stick. They need to find a way to gain possession. Calgary's just dominated the possession of this game so far, and there's been very little times that Toronto has had control of it. And so that comes from getting in on that forecheck, or when they're in their defensive end, just putting as much pressure on as they can and making sure that when they get that puck, they aren't making poor passes and they're not making unnecessary passes, that they're keeping possession, even if that means slowing down, waiting for their teammates to catch up, and then entering the zone as a unit of 5. That's what they need to do, because right now, Calgary is just too much for them to handle.
So 3-0 between Calgary and Toronto here on CWHL Live. And if you are heading out to Okotoks tomorrow, that will be the second of 2 games between these two teams. It is a noon puck drop, and they'll keep you updated there. Unfortunately, no stream here on CWHL Live tomorrow, but the Calgary Inferno and both the Toronto Furies will keep you updated on social media. So 40 minutes in the books. We will be heading down to the dressing room in just a moment.
Hi, my name is Victoria Bain, and I'm here with Sarah Nurse. Thank you so much for meeting with me. So you ladies are down 3-0 going into the third period. How do you as a team plan to stay in the game and have a great third period?
Yeah, I think we just have to compete. I mean, there have been a lot of things that have gone on today, so I think we just have to stay in the game, compete, and do our best out there.
Awesome. What do you plan to do to improve your time in the offensive zone, gain that offensive zone coverage, and get more shots on net?
I think just make the simple plays, quick little puck movements, chips in, and keep the game simple.
Amazing. And Shade Hiley has been playing fantastic. She's now made 30 saves for you ladies. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, she's been fantastic all season. This isn't a rarity in any instance. So, it's great to have her back there, and we're very confident in her abilities.
Amazing. Thank you so much, and good luck with the game.
Thanks.
you think.
So 40 minutes in the books here, CWHL Live, Calgary and Toronto. Second intermission underway. Pleased to be joined by Toronto GM Sammy Jo Small. Of course, she's everywhere. Every time you're in Calgary, we tend to get you on the show. So thank you for making some time for us today.
No, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
It's awesome to have you. So 40 minutes in the books. How would you assess your team's play in the first two periods?
You know, to be honest, I think we look tired. It's been a long day. We started this morning at basically 2:45 a.m. Calgary time. Most of the girls got to the airport, so 4:45 in Toronto, and then our flight got canceled. It was a 7 a.m. flight. It then got rebooked till 1 p.m. So it's been a really long day of spending time in airports, spending time with each other, doing some team building.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think out there we have some moments of spark, and it is Ignite the Spark tonight. Is that what it's called?
Start the Spark.
Start the Spark.
Yes.
So we have some moments of spark, but we're just not putting all together. But some really good positives. Tylee, I think, is playing really great. She's making some huge first saves. We're making some good first plays. We're just not really able to put it all together. And I think, you know, testament to Calgary. They're an incredible team, but we have to bring our best if we're going to be able to beat the best.
However, I will say that Toronto did come here a month ago and hand Calgary its first home loss of the season. So certainly you know that the Inferno are beatable.
It is possible, and I think what we did in Red Deer that game was we really put everything together.
Yeah.
And we're not really doing that tonight. I mean, we still have a third period, and we're not totally out of it. So there's still some positive to draw from it. And I know that's one thing that our coaches really harp on, is that there's always time left to play. There's still 20 minutes to play, but that game in Red Deer was one of our best games of the season.
Yeah.
And like I said, if we're going to beat Calgary with so much talent that they have on their team, we're going to need to bring our best. And those first two periods, we had some moments, but I don't think it really was our best.
I'm just thinking of that Natalie Spooner goal in Red Deer. It's probably one of the best goals I've seen this season, bar none.
Yeah, and we do have some incredible talent on our team, and Natalie's one of them. And I mean, some incredible shots by Sarah Nurse.
Yes.
The Calgary goaltender is tough to beat. I mean, she is obviously an American Olympian, so we're not only going to get a great first shot, but a second shot and a third shot as well. So we'll do everything we can in this third period. It won't be easy, but understandable. I think we just, from a game like this, we need to draw some positives. Hopefully have a strong third period going into tomorrow with the idea that we can win.
Tell me about Sarah Nurse, because I've only had an opportunity to watch her live. This is my second time. We did the stream with you back in December. How is she a rookie? She plays like a seasoned veteran.
She does.
And her stature and just the way her skating, the way she conducts herself, just like she's been here forever.
Well, she's been such a joy to have on our team, because she stepped into that role on the ice as well as off the ice as well. So she really is a leader and leads by example, but she also is mature beyond her years, which is really nice to see. I just love having her around, but she also is such an incredibly gifted hockey player. Everything from playmaker to scorer to defensively. She really has it all. I was sitting over there with Cassie Campbell watching that second period, and she said she doesn't get to see Sarah play in front of her live very often, and watching her is just so different than watching her on TV, because you just get the grasp of her stature on the ice, that she just commands a presence and she creates ice. I always think when she's out there, you know, why is nobody taking the puck away from her?
Yeah.
Like, why is nobody chasing her? But she's just finding the open ice. She's being able to see it from a different perspective, and I think she just sees the game at a different level than most. And so we're really happy that she's on our team, and she is just a rookie. So, I mean, she's only going to build from here. So exciting for the future.
So speaking of skills, because as an adult, I would love to learn hockey and have skills like Sarah Nurse. Don't think it can happen, but you guys are doing something really cool out in Toronto. Why don't you tell us about it, like a regular Joe like me who...
A regular Joe.
Yeah, doesn't really know how to play hockey that well, but I would be able to, if I was in Toronto, to learn from people like you.
Yeah, so great segue. First off, I love it. But yeah, we've been doing 4 or 5 of them this season so far, and they're called Adult Skills, and it basically is a chance for anybody over the age of 18 to come and skate with the Toronto Furies. And the neatest part about it is that you're actually getting to have one-on-one time with the Furies. So we've really taken a step up with our team this year, and we're now practicing 3 times a week, which is a big step in the CWHL because most of these girls do work full-time. It's a big commitment for them. So whenever Courtney Kessel, our head coach, deems that we might be a little bit tired that week or we have some big games coming up, we'll use one of those 3 practice sessions as an adult skill session. Twofold. One is it really engages with our community, and it allows the average Joe to come out and see how good these girls are. So it's co-ed, but also they pay, and so then it is a fundraiser for us as well. So we use it for both aspects to be able to help us, but also to help the community and show that we are supporting the community at large. And it's not just about the kids, which I think is great, but it's about engaging those adults that they're really the fans that come out to our games. They're the ones that bring their kids. They're the ones that we want to be Furies fans for life.
Now, final question for you. We mentioned it in the broadcast. It's nothing bad.
Okay, good.
We've got a certain Canada-US battle coming in the next 24 hours at the U18s.
We do.
And just tell me, I mean, the U18s, they don't get a lot of coverage, but this is a tournament, is a good way for these young women to see what it takes on an international stage to win at that level versus the likes of the countries from Scandinavia or, of course, the Americans. So what are your thoughts here?
Canada had a huge win last night in overtime against Russia. So Courtney Kessel, our head coach, is over there right now, which is also tough for our players. We're missing her for an entire month. So we'll meet her in China, actually. So she's not coming home from Japan. We also have Corey Chevery, who is a former Toronto Furies, as the other assistant coach. So we have a real Furies feel over there. And according to them, they see a really positive team. They see a team that is just kind of coming into their own. They lost to the U.S. in the round robin, but I think they're gunning for them in the finals. I think the win against Russia, winning in overtime, really shows some battle scars that you want to have going into that final. So the U.S. has been predominantly better for the last, I want to say, 7-8 years. And if we win, it'll be a big coup for Canada moving forward at every level. It'll show that, we've moved forward at the development levels and then can take that on to the senior level as well.
And potentially players we might see in a Toronto Furies jersey or a Calgary
We'll try to steal
jersey
as many as we can
down the road.
Yes, exactly.
Sammy Jo, thank you so much for making time for us. Second period in the books. Third period underway.
Much
Thanks,
appreciated.
Guys.
Thanks.
So the third period just about to get underway here in Calgary, Winsport Arena A. The Inferno and Toronto Furies after 40 minutes of play. The Inferno with a 3-0 lead. You're watching on CWHL Live. Thanks for joining us. Sandra Prusina and Jenna Cunningham with you. So third period now underway as Calgary has possession in their own zone. We'll give you a scoring summary at our next break of play here. I can say though, Bridget Lequette, she just had the puck moments ago. She's got a couple of helpers this afternoon. Nice shot on goal there by D'Arcangelo for Toronto. Lequette gets caught up in the skates of Jenner. Kurzaniak will play it over to Lequette. Back to Kurzaniak. Over to Jenner. Jenner looking for Leslie, intercepted there by Stewart. And chance now for Toronto. Toronto with some speed. Stewart shot on goal, save Belanger.
Good start here by Toronto. This is how they wanted to start that third period, creating chances, getting some shots on net, and making sure that they're putting as much pressure on Calgary as they can.
Played behind the Calgary net to Gosling. Half board. As Calgary makes its way into the Toronto zone. Nobody there with a purple jersey, and now a chance for Natalie Spooner. She looks for Stewart, but that's intercepted. Turnbull dispatched of the puck by Fedeschi. Back to Johnston. And now Nurse. Spooner tried to go through her legs, but that ends up on Nurse's stick. She'll dump that in on Belanger as she drives that into the corner. And Calgary with a bank pass now. Johnston. Johnston still with possession. She'll curl around the Toronto net. Back to the point, slap shot. And Shea Tiley will drive that into the netting, and we'll get a face-off here early in the third period. Again, if you're just joining us, Calgary with a 3-0 lead. Brianne Jenner with her 13th of the season, making it 1-0. Kelty Apperson, her third goal, made it a 2-0 game in the second. And Casey Bellamy with her 5th goal of the season, made it a 3-0 game for Calgary late in the second on the power play. Calgary looking for some options. Shot on goal by Holvey, that one goes into the corner. Murray will take a bit of a hit into the Toronto end, and now Toronto coming down the ice. That one is driven wide.
Toronto's having a little bit more success here in gaining that new offensive zone on Calgary starting the third period.
Calgary wearing their purple Start the Spark jerseys. You'll be able to bid on those right after the game on the Inferno website, Calgary at the CWHL.com. All proceeds will be going to the Sheldon Kennedy Advocacy Center here in Calgary, and this is in support of mental health awareness. So if you want more information, you can always check out the Inferno social media feeds or that Inferno website as we were talking about just moments ago.
Yeah, it's just such a fantastic cause, and the Sheldon Kennedy Youth Advocacy Center is one of a kind in Canada, as it kind of brings all of those important people into the mix when dealing with kids that have faced trauma. And so it's just a great organization.
And that's a 4-0 lead for the Calgary Inferno. I believe Hallie Kurzaniak will probably get credit for that, as she took a bit of a flutter shot from the point. And my apologies, they're going to wave that off for a high stick. Yeah, I was a little puzzled by that, actually, because I did see the high stick, but Calgary was celebrating nonetheless.
Yeah, I think actually Calgary should have just waited for that puck to hit the blue paint, because they had two players in behind Tilly there. And so, but they got a little bit of antsy there and got a stick on it that was a little bit too high.
So it remains a 3-0 game here for Calgary. No goal, and they'll look to regroup.
You know the refs make the right call when none of the Calgary players were arguing that one. I think they knew right away.
Bellamy. That shot gets deflected behind Shea Tiley. Leslie will pump the brakes there. She'll curl around. She loses her stick. Was wondering why there wasn't a slashing call. Looks at the referee, but nothing will be called there. And Calgary will take over. Bellamy, shot on goal, looking for a deflection. That one goes behind the net.
Again, that Jenner line paired up here with the Spooner line. I think we've seen that a lot tonight, and for the right reasons. I think that's a really strong defensive line there for Calgary, who obviously can put up offensive points as well. But that's Toronto's top line, and against its top line like Toronto's, you want to make sure that you have those players that are defensively responsible out there.
3-0 lead here for Calgary. We are early in the third period, 16:02 left on the clock. If you're just joining us, thank you for doing so. Beautiful evening here in Calgary. 3 degrees, Chinook blowing in, so a good night to come watch some hockey here at Wynn Sports. Johnston curls on the half board, sends it back to the point, centering pass. It's driven into the corner, and Turnbull will take over. She leaves it for Tori Hickle, centers it out, and that one bounces over by her sister Zoe Hickle. Johnston still with possession. To the point, to Murray. Zoe Hickle was looking for Johnston, but Natalie Spooner able to intercept that pass, and Toronto will take over. 2-on-1 opportunity. Channel in the middle. Channel looking for Spooner. Actually, that was vice versa. Spooner looking for Channel, but Annie Belanger scoops up that puck and will get a face-off here in the Calgary end.
Yeah, great defensive play there by Tori Hickle, just making sure that she wasn't giving the Spooner the option to pass, even though Spooner tried to get that one feed across ice. Tori Hickle was able to redirect it, and Belanger was there to get a glove on it.
15:21 left on the clock in the third period. Calgary with a 3-0 lead. Face-off win for Toronto. D'Arcangelo gets it back to the point. Played in only momentarily by Toronto. And a chance now for Calgary. Holvey. Venla Holvey with the puck. She takes it into the neutral zone. Krzyzaniak looking for some options. She decides to give it back to Holvey. Holvey takes it to the point. Drop pass to Woodworth. Woodworth cruising in the center ice. Chance now for Holvey. She's alone. Nice save there by Shea Tiley. Another save by Tiley. That was Venla Holvey. Once again, she'll go for a line change. Intercepted there by Toronto. And they'll play that into the neutral zone. Back to Laquette. Laquette's by herself, so she'll take it in. Bank pass. Shot on goal. Tiley plays it into the corner. And now Howard will take over for Toronto. She's got Prevost with her. Howard, stick checked. And back to Krzyzaniak. She'll get it out. Leslie. And now a chance for Calgary. That one goes wide, short side.
Calgary's really found success on their ability to just cycle that puck and keep it low and try to feed it out front when given the opportunity, but really keeping possession of that puck has helped them create a lot of offensive opportunities.
Renata Fast looking for Sydney Kidd, but Annie Belanger with her 14th save of the night keeps it a 3-0 game.
Again, we see that Spooner and Jenner matchup, which has been a really good matchup throughout this evening. Both sides have had a couple good opportunities, obviously with that Jenner line ahead with that first period goal.
Shot on goal there by Toronto, looking for a rebound, and Annie Belanger will just hug that post a little bit, make sure nothing squeezes by her to keep it a 3-0 game.
Yeah, nice try there by Spooner on the side of the net, just trying to get that puck to squeeze past Belanger there. That's what it might take here for Toronto, is just to get one of those lucky bounces. They need to keep whacking away at those rebounds.
So the All-Star break begins this week with that game slated for Sunday, January 20th. 9 members of the Inferno headed to Toronto, including Bridget Laquette. She is one of the captains. 4 members of the Furies will be there. And I have to say, the guest coach is pretty cool, Glenn Healy and Curtis Joseph. So should be a fun weekend in Toronto. Chance now for Calgary. We've got a one-on-one. As Leslie's shot goes over the net. Leslie still with the puck. She'll curl around behind Shea Tiley. She's shoved out of the way. Nurse now looking for some options, and they'll get an outlet pass going. 2-on-2 now. Toronto looking for some reinforcement. Speed down that right side, handled nicely by Belanger as she'll drive it into the center there. And Calgary will take over. Zoe Hickle with speed. Zoe over to Johnston. Slap shot from the point. And Shea Tiley will hang on. She was wondering where it was, but she absorbed it nicely there.
Yeah, I don't think she really saw that one coming in through the point. Great job by Rebecca Johnson, just pulling up and hitting that trailing defenseman. That's key when, you know, Toronto's such a great back-checking team, but sometimes they almost back-check too deep, and that's exactly what happened there. They were all nice and deep, which opened up the Calgary's defenseman to have an opportunity to get a shot on net with some traffic.
Johnston, face-off win. Takes it in the center of the ice, backhand, out in the blue paint. Shea Tiley will hang on once again.
This is a tough line to contain. Usually they have Brianna Decker on here, but Blair Turnbull moving into that position is, you know, another strong player, another player with international experience, Olympic experience, and so this line is just as threatening as they are when Brianna Decker is here.
Tori Deckel to Johnston. Tiley with another save, her 41st of the evening. Johnston, back to Tori Hickle, shot on goal, Turnbull, backhand save. And Turnbull still with the puck, we were just talking about her. Murray trying to keep that in for the Inferno. Battle in front of that Toronto bench, Turnbull trying to leave that there for Zoe Hickle to Turnbull, backhand, saved by Tiley.
That was a nifty little play there by Turnbull getting a shot off. She just kind of worked her way in backwards towards the net.
Zoe Hickle loses that puck, so Calgary will start again. Johnston, she's got Krzyzaniak. Johnston elects to shoot, and Shea Tiley will hang on. Now, it's been an interesting evening. I was talking to Sammy Jo off the air. Sammy Jo Small, that is, GM of the Toronto Furies, and I love the jerseys, but we're having such a hard time seeing some of the names on the Calgary players, so I do want to apologize just because the color scheme, it's tough for us sometimes to see, so I'm so grateful for everybody's patience here tonight as we're not used to not having that red and black.
Absolutely, and it's hard. I think these jerseys are a little bit lighter than their regular ones, so the jersey tuck inhibits us being able to see their numbers.
Chance now for Toronto, that pass! Oh, and just an opportunity there for Shannon Stewart as she took that pass and wasn't able to get it past Annie Belanger, her 17th save of the evening.
Yeah, that's probably the best save she's made all night, just making sure that she's tracking that puck and getting her pads down. One of her qualities as a goaltender is she's big and she can move from side to side, so her lateral movement is a huge advantage for her, and there it just showed Toronto couldn't bang home that rebound.
Chance now trying to go top shelf on Belanger, but Channel's shot is high and wide. Calgary will bank that out and Toronto will have to regroup. Channel now. That goes off of Bridget Laquette. She'll play it to the open side, kept alive at the blue line just for a moment though. And Calgary will play its way out now. Kelty Apperson, she has a goal tonight. Shot on goal, looking for Velma Holvey.
Yeah, this has definitely been Calgary's workhorse line. They are the fourth line for Calgary, but when they get out there, they work so hard, and they're all over the ice, and so it's nice to see them getting some ice time, especially with the 3-0 game. I think every time they've been out there, they've done exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, and Kelty Apperson getting awarded on the scoring sheet tonight. She had the second goal of the evening. Toronto, good possession spell here in Calgary's end. Play to the far side, looking for some option. Fedeschi from the point, slapper. Belanger makes the save.
Good job from Belanger, just tracking that puck. There are a couple Inferno players and a Toronto player in her view, and she did a great job just making sure she was in the right position, able to make that save.
Intercepted there by Brianne Jenner. Calgary with numbers, shot on goal. Great save by Shea Tiley. point blank save. Battle in front of the Calgary bench. Louise Warren comes away with it. Now for Rebecca Leslie, the rookie. Gets it to Warren. Warren, backhand. Nobody's there, and Toronto will take over. Vareski plays it in on Belanger. She thought she might glove it down, but elected to leave it. And Calgary will come away with it. Leslie, the rookie, dishes that in. Gets played near Jenner, but she can't collect the pass. And Toronto with some numbers as they work their way through the neutral ice. Looking for an outlet pass for Natalie Spooner. Would have been an icing call, but she did touch it first. And now Calgary will take over. So some end-to-end action here. Calgary's top line out right now. Turnbull over to Lequette. Lequette centering pass, bobbling pass actually. Gets over to Spooner. Spooner will flutter that into the neutral zone as Toronto goes for a line change. Lequette to Hickel, back to Lequette. She wasn't expecting it, but handled it nicely. Turnbull wasn't able to get there, but a good forecheck there as Calgary keeps it alive, and it ends up in the Toronto bench. So we didn't have a lot of whistles in this third period. There's one of them. 7:53 left. It's a 3-0 lead for the home Calgary Inferno.
Yeah, I think Toronto can be a little bit happier with the way this third period's gone. I'd say they've had a little bit more possession of the puck, been able to break up a couple of those passes from Calgary and intercept a couple of those passes that they've tried to make through the neutral zone. So Toronto's moving in the right direction, and now it's just a matter of whether or not they can get one on the scoreboard.
Dirkangelo goes inside out there on Holvey. Leaves it at the point. Channel. That goes off a shin pad onto the half boards near side. Dirkangelo back to the point. Shot on goal. That one doesn't make its way through. Dirkangelo gets it over, but a bobbling puck, and it'll end up on a Calgary stick. Holvey goes in on the right side, drops it over to the corner. Gosling in deep. Referee's telling them to keep moving that puck. And Toronto will come away with it. Channel with an outlet pass. She was looking for a bank all the way to Howard. Gets to Howard. But Hickel was there with her, and they both went into the boards. Over to Murray. Murray now to Crom. Crom, backhand pass in front of the net. Nobody there with the purple jersey, and now Toronto. Toronto can't get it past the blue line. But nice job there by Nurse. Nurse goes backhand in on Belanger, and she'll hang on.
Yeah, great job by Nurse, just putting the pressure on, creating that turnover, and that's exactly what Toronto needs. They need to find a way to start creating those turnovers and turning them into offensive opportunities.
Well, one player that possibly could do that, Sarah Nurse. She's just been active all over the night. She's a lot of fun to watch. We don't get a chance to see her that often, so.
Yeah, and she's in the top for Toronto scoring. She's in the top 10 for league scoring. Can be quite lethal on the power play, and so definitely one of those players that can have an impact, and we've seen her have a couple of good grade A opportunities tonight.
Yeah, Sarah Nurse is tied for team lead in points, 19. She also leads the CWHL in power play points, and we saw that on the man advantage a couple of times tonight. Always active with that puck. Calgary now, opportunity, shot on goal, saved by Shea Tiley. Leslie, back to the point for Lequette. Deflected into the corner. Kurzaniak will keep that alive. Kurzaniak still to Jenner. Kurzaniak trying to go inside out, but Louise Warren will take her spot on the blue line, help out a little bit there as she gets it over to Bellamy. Kurzaniak and Lequette go for a line change. Bellamy, bounce pass. Looking for Zoe Hickel, but that's deflected into the stands, and somebody gets a souvenir.
Yeah, I think one of the key things to Calgary's success tonight is just their ability to keep that puck moving forward. Their support of each other and their kind of focus on just headmanning that puck constantly has proved challenging for Toronto, as they just are relentless and coming at them over and over and over again.
Just about 5 minutes here left in the third period. Calgary with a 3-0 lead. Turnbull with the pass, looking for Johnston in the center of the ice, just in front of Shea Tiley. But that puck is deflected all the way into the Calgary end. Actually, I thought that was deflected out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen here, because even if it wasn't, they certainly beat Calgary on the icing.
Looks like indeed they will say it was an icing call.
Yeah, Privo definitely beat the Calgary player to the hash mark, so that's an unfortunate call against Toronto.
Face-off win for Toronto nonetheless. Quinn. Good pressure there by Johnston, though. Excellent battle in that corner. Johnston takes a bit of a spill. Turnbull tries to get her the puck. Chance there for Hickel. Played back to the point to Bellamy. Johnston. Nice outlet pass, and she scores! Caitlin Gosling makes it a 4-0 game.
That was just a great shot. Again, it all goes back to that puck movement, right? Calgary gaining the zone, having possession, being able to keep that puck moving, getting Toronto to run around a little bit, and second D for Calgary to score tonight. So Calgary, we know their defensive core is strong defensively, but we're seeing a little bit of their offense tonight.
So Caitlin Gosling with her 5th goal of the season. She's got 12 points on the year, and it's a 4-0 game here for Calgary. 4:22 left in the third period. Podeski dumps that in on Belanger. She elects to hang that on, and we'll get a face-off in the Calgary end. Get a couple of line changes here.
You know, Toronto here with 4 minutes left, I think their goal right now is to just break that shutout and see if they can gain a little bit of momentum going into tomorrow's game. They're down 4-0. They're being outshot 49-19. So it's been a little bit of a lopsided game, and so their focus here is how do we prepare, how do we start to get in a position so that when we come in tomorrow we feel confident that we can steal a couple points.
And just hearing from their general manager, Sammy Joe Small, and it sounds like they haven't had the easiest day in terms of travel and so forth. So no doubt, I think their heads want to hit some pillows tonight and they can just relax. And the nice thing is tomorrow's puck drop actually isn't a super early game. It's a noon, so it should be okay. They'll get a little bit of rest.
Yeah, that's always nice. Sometimes a turnaround, because you have to fly home, can be not very nice. And so being able to play at noon tomorrow is definitely an advantage for both sides, and having to travel a little bit out to Okotoks.
Yeah. So Calgary will come away with the puck here. Willoughby with some speed into the Toronto end. Shea Tiley facing her 50th shot of the night, and she'll hang on.
It'll be interesting to see if Tiley starts again tomorrow. I know she's been kind of the go-to for Toronto this season, and so after facing as many shots as she has, we'll see if she gets to start tomorrow. She's certainly earned it. Although she has 4 goals again, she's had some big saves and has done a pretty good job considering she's faced a ton of shots.
Elaine Chuley, their second goalie. They've kind of done a 1A, 1B sort of scenario, I think, in Toronto. And I remember when they were here in December, they split the games. So like you said, we'll see what happens. Kelty Apperson, she'll dump that in. Renata Fast. And Emma Greco will take over. Greco, unfortunately, took a bit of a unfortunate fall there. She's back up on her feet, though.
Yeah, just got clipped there a little bit by the Calgary player in the neutral zone.
Greco runs into her own player, but They'll sort things out. Bank pass. Kept alive by the Inferno, though. Second line out. Jenner looking for Warren. Tylee hugs her post and keeps that puck out. And now Renata Fast circles into the center of the ice. Shot on goal, and it beats Belanger. A flutterer gets over her glove, and it's a 4-1 game as Toronto gets on board.
That was probably one that Belanger would maybe want back. It was a little bit of a flutter, but great job by Renata Fast and Sarah Nurse. As they entered that zone, Sarah Nurse drove the net, and that's what creates chaos. As soon as that player drives the net, it forces the Calgary defenseman to pick somebody, and in that case, they picked the wrong person, and Renata Fast had an opportunity to get Toronto on the scoreboard here with just under 3 minutes to go.
So it's a 4-1 game. 2:45 left on the clock in the third period. Renata Fast with the goal, so she'll get credit for that. I thought it might have taken a deflection, but it did not. So she gets Toronto on board here late in the third period. Nurse, shot on goal, looking top shelf deflection. And that one hits some netting, so we'll get a late face-off here in the Calgary end.
Yeah, Bellamy just got a stick on that and redirected it actually just over top of the Calgary net. So she's lucky that one didn't find the back of the net on her on that one.
2:22 left on the clock. Face-off win for Calgary, and Willoughby will take over. Down to Woodworth. Perzaniak plays that wide. She was looking for Woodworth for a tip. Crom, Woodworth, and Willoughby, this fourth line for Calgary, putting in some minutes here. Perzaniak comes in off the point. That gets deflected into the corner. Laquette will track it down. Laquette in deep. She's by herself as Calgary goes for a line change. And a chance now for Natalie Spooner. Nobody there to help Spooner out. She'll come in on her own in front of the Calgary net, but no white jerseys there, and the Inferno will take over. Perzaniak plays that in lightly. Chance now, saved by Shea Tylee, driven in by her blocker into the corner. Back to Hovey.
This fourth line here for Calgary has just done a really good job. Every time they've been out there, they've been able to get that puck deep, get some cycles on, keep the puck deep long enough, come off for a change, and let those other lines get out there for some offensive opportunities.
Calgary still with possession. Centering pass for Warren, save Tylee. Leslie Fans on that, looking for Jenner. She comes in off the bench. And now Darkangelo for Toronto. Toronto's got a trailer. Darkangelo decides to go one-on-one. Pass doesn't make its way through. And now Calgary with 35 seconds left. Hickel to Jenner. Jenner plays that behind the Toronto net. She takes a bit of a tumble. Back to the point. And Shea Tylee will hang on and make her 50th save of the evening.
Yeah, there's not much time here. Toronto will be happy that they got one behind Calgary tonight as they start to think about preparing for tomorrow. But what's really impressed me is Calgary just continuing to put that pressure on.
Face-off win by Calgary. Shot on goal by Johnston, handled by Shea Tylee. Now Toronto. Chance in these dying seconds here of the third period. And that will do it as the Calgary Inferno beat the visiting Toronto Furies 4-1. A great evening here in Calgary for Start the Spark. All around, I think Calgary's going to be pretty happy with the performance that they put on here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Like we said, we knew that this game was going to be important to them. We've have some great fans here tonight, which is something to mention as well. This place has a ton of people in it and lots of support for the mental health game. But I think looking back, Calgary will be happy with how this went. Like I've said before, they had the possession of the puck the majority of the night. They had grade A scoring chances that outweighed Toronto scoring chances. And what I really liked about them is that all of their four lines were involved and engaged and had an opportunity to play today. On Toronto's side, I think what they can be proud of is that they battled. When we watched it, although it was lopsided and they didn't actually have possession of the puck that often, they were working hard. So whether it was on the forecheck, back check, in their zone, trying to get the puck out, they certainly had the battle piece there, and that's key. As long as you got your feet moving, you're willing to put the effort in, you can walk away with it being somewhat satisfied. And I think they can do that tonight, and getting that last late goal will be important as they kind of move on from tonight and look forward to tomorrow. They are battling for a playoff position, so they need to find ways to steal some points.
Now, of course, this is a crucial win for Calgary, and I realize that they are at the top of the standings, but I wouldn't say necessarily breathing room, but Montreal did lose in a shootout tonight to KRS Vancouver, so things still tight, obviously, for that first place race here in the CWHL standings, but Calgary picking up 2 points and Montreal just getting the single point. That could make the difference at the end of the season, who finishes first and who finishes second. For sure, that playoff push, especially at the top of the standings, is so close, and we know in Calgary and Montreal are battling it out at the top. Anything can happen at the tail end of the season, so any points are important at this point. There's not a ton of points left to be won, so it'll be important that both teams, all teams in the CWHL, really push for them. And I think, Toronto, Markham especially, that's going to be super important as we finish off this season. So we'll just take a quick look here at the CWHL standings, and it is the Calgary Inferno in first place, the Les Canadiens sitting in second, Shenzhen KRS Vancouver are third, Markham fourth, Toronto is fifth, so obviously Toronto will want to come out and play well tomorrow, as those points will be crucial. The Wooster Blades currently sitting in sixth place. Of course, Toronto has actually played fewer games than all of the teams that we listed, so they have some games in hand, which could come into play a little bit later as they play their schedule into February. Now, I want to talk about Calgary's schedule a little bit in February because it's interesting. They actually wrap up the regular season in China. You think that's good or bad?
I think the way that the CWHL has organized the China trip, it's not as challenging as perhaps it was that first year. And so I think, there's a bit of challenge. You're traveling, to an entirely different country, a different time zone. You're experiencing a bunch of different things, whether it's, where you're sleeping, what you're eating, that kind of thing. So, again, Calgary's full of players, though, with an international experience. So I think in a lot of ways they have a bit of an advantage because these girls have the experience of traveling overseas, regrouping, getting organized, and preparing for it. So I think if anything, depending on, where they're standing, if it's a close one to Montreal, they'll be excited to play over there, and I'm sure that at the end of it, it's going to be fun to watch to see what happens over in China.
So how do you think Calgary approaches the game tomorrow? We saw, and you mentioned it throughout the broadcast, that they were really rolling their lines tonight, I thought.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I think, as we know, there's been a coaching change for the Calgary Inferno. Shannon Miller's no longer the bench boss, and tonight we started to see a little bit more of a traditional style of play. So a little bit less of that torpedo system. They've kind of gone back to, the 3 forwards, 2D, and tonight it worked for them. So I think tomorrow what they need to focus on is continuing that pressure, continuing to headman that puck. Their transitions were a huge part of their success tonight. Their ability to keep that puck moving and keep possession of it in the offensive zone is why they won tonight 4-1. And so those are all the things that they're going to want to continue to do. A couple things that I would tighten up is those passes through the center. giving turnovers at the blue line. Those are all little things that as the season winds up can have a huge impact, especially in playoffs when you're playing teams like Montreal. So there's always those little things that you want to make sure that you're keeping consistent and out of your game.
So we'll have some final thoughts in a moment, but why don't we head down to the dressing rooms for some post-game interviews?
Hi, I'm Victoria Babe, and I'm here with Shay Tiley for our post-game interview. So you faced over 50 shots this evening. How do you keep your cool and stay focused with such an intense game?
I mean, it's just kind of part of the game. You know, when we're playing a good team like that, you expect a lot of shots. The girls did a good job keeping to the outside a lot. I mean, they did have some good scoring chances, but that's expected when you play a good team. So just trusting in your teammates and knowing that they're going to help you out too.
Amazing. So going into tomorrow's game, what is your focus as a team? What is going to be some of the things you're going to take out of this game and bring them into tomorrow's game?
It was nice to get that goal late in the game, just really getting shots on net, playing better in our defensive zone, and then getting a good night rest tonight. It was a pretty hectic day for us travel-wise, so it'll be nice to get a good night's sleep and regroup for tomorrow.
Great. Thank you so much, and good luck in tomorrow's game.
Thank you.
So 4-1 the final, Calgary Inferno over the visiting Toronto Furies. Let's just take a look here at the scoring summary. This, of course, is unofficial, but we'll give it to you nonetheless. Jenner with her 13th of the season to make it a 1-0 game in the first period at the 13:58 mark. 2-0 Calgary off the stick of Kelty Apperson, her third of the season early in the second period. Helpers from Bridget Laquette and Erica Crom. Casey Bellamy made it a 3-0 game. That came on the power play. And then Hallie Kurzaniak with her fourth of the year. Johnston and Bellamy with the helpers there. And then Toronto broke that goose egg for Annie Belanger. Renata Fast with her first of the year. So that makes it a 4-1 game. Why don't we head down back to the dressing rooms as we hear from a member of the Calgary Inferno.
Okay. Hi, I'm Victoria Bain. I'm here with Brianne Jenner of the Calgary Inferno. You ladies had a big game, big win tonight with your TELUS Spark. That's pretty awesome. So, what are you going to do to carry the momentum into tomorrow's game against Toronto?
That was the first game in a while where we had a good, strong start. We struggled with that last weekend at Markham, so it was a good step for our team to have a good first period. And, we kept the winning streak for Start the Spark alive, so it's always a big night for us. We had a lot of fans and a great cause, so it was nice to give them a good game.
Nice. So you play again tomorrow, and Tylee was a really tough component tonight, but you were able to find the back of the net. So how do you as a team, the Inferno, sustain the pressure with a 3-0 lead going into the third period?
Well, I think we did a good job putting pucks on net. I think, it was 54 shots. So, she's, I think, one of the elite goalies in the game right now. I think she's fantastic, and she did a good job in the net tonight. But I think if we put that many shots and get net front traffic and find some rebounds, then, hopefully we'll put a few in like we did tonight.
Great. Thank you so much, and good luck in tomorrow's game.
Yeah, thank you.
So that was Brianne Jenner. She scored the first goal tonight. She's actually been on such a roll. We mentioned that throughout the broadcast. But I just want to touch upon what she just mentioned, and that's Start the Spark. And if anybody did join us late and they were wondering what that is or why the Inferno are wearing purple jerseys, well, this is part of an annual initiative to raise awareness for mental health and to keep that conversation going. Of course, there's always a stigma and things like that when you're discussing mental health. So a special night. This place was packed, and it all came together. And now everybody, if they'd like, they can head over to the Inferno website and bid, because these special purple jerseys will be auctioned off.
Yeah, like you said, for such a great cause. It's amazing. It's going into its fourth year, and you can see the turnout in the fans tonight. But I know it's a big deal for the girls, and it's an important initiative, especially to reach those youth as they're going through, the challenges of growing up. But I think there's a lot of adults that were here today as well, that as they learn a little bit more about the Sheldon Kennedy Center or Do It for Darren initiative, they start to become more comfortable with talking about mental health, and that's what this is all about. It's about making sure that we're willing to talk about it, and that we know that there's safe people that we can talk to about our mental health. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the fifth one next year.
So 4-1 the final. That is in the books here at Winsport Arena A. The Calgary Inferno with the win over the Toronto Furies. A big thanks to our intermission guests, Jessica Campbell as well as Sammy Jo Small. I'm Sandra Persina. That has been Jenna Cunningham. Thanks to our broadcast crew, and thank you for tuning in to CWHL live stream schedule by visiting the CWHL.com, and we'll check in with you next time.